Hi everyone. In this final presentation, I would just like to give you a quick rundown on the difference between harmonisation and standardisation when it comes to the international financial reporting standards. So I'll bring up my presentation now. So some quick definitions for you. What is harmonisation? Well, it's a process of increasing the compatibility of accounting practices by limiting the available options for variations. So in harmonising on the international financial reporting standards, we are substantially adopting the standards, but we have scope to vary them, but not unlimited scope. So we're harmonising, but we're still not standardising. At the moment, Australia is in the harmonisation stage. Standardisation, on the other hand, is that each country has a standard set of IFRS. In other words, it essentially applies the same accounting rules throughout the set of accounting standards. So Australia is harmonised at the moment and working towards standardisation. If you read through the Australian accounting standards, you will see in each standard what is essentially the text of the international standard, but where there are differences for Australia, you will see an additional clause with a different number. The USA at the moment is a long way behind. It's still negotiating a pathway into harmonisation. This is called a convergence project, where the IASB and the equivalent within the United States work together and try and find areas of compatibility, common ground between the two sets of accounting standards. So the USA has been there for a long time and they're still there. On the other hand, China and, interestingly, Russia have made a greater commitment towards the IFRS. So they are well and truly plugging into the global capital flows. They're very well progressed in the harmonisation route and have committed since 2006. So again, why would a country want to modify its local IFRS? If you've made a commitment to harmonise and work towards standardisation, why would you want to modify? Because remember, every time you make a change, even for the best of reasons, you're losing some of the value of being on the international standards in the first place. However, as we've seen in the previous presentation, the one-size-fits-all does not always apply. So in Australia, we've found that there are times when we've had to apply local variations. And one example of that is on the standard for extractive industries. So mining and exploration are big parts of the Australian economy. Whereas in Britain, for example, and even in Europe, it is nowhere near as big, as prominent within their economies. So is it reasonable that Australia would fully accept the reporting obligations that, for all intents and purposes, emanate out of Britain and Europe? The answer is probably no, we will accept them, but with local modifications. Now, in the previous presentation, we looked at some of the reasons why a country may not wish to adopt. If you do adopt, what are the costs in modifying your local standards? Modifying IFRS to your local conditions. So the more you modify, the further away you get from standardisation. And in theory, only standardisation offers the fullest benefits of tapping into the global trade and capital flows. However, keep in mind that standardisation may well be an ideal and not a reality. So if you have full standardisation, then you have handed over to the IASB a lot of your jurisdictional responsibilities. So if you have a truly standard set of standards, how many other countries have a truly standard set of standards? So standardisation may, in fact, be an ideal that can never be fully realised. And a final word on this, you as a new accountant should be very, very interested in the progress of standardisation and harmonisation with IFRS. This increases your value. As long as countries are committing to IFRS, your accounting skills are immediately international skills. So if you learn accounting in Australia and you learn accounting standards in Australia, what you've learned applies to other countries that have adopted IFRS. So your skills are immediately international skills. Make use of that. If you want to see the world, accounting is a great way of doing it. So with that, I wish you well. Enjoy the module. You'll find it very interesting, highly relevant to your future career. So get reading, happy studying, and we'll see you next week. Bye.